I would have done that. And that's why I think I am coming towards the end of my career, because that fight was always there. Now it's like I have so much knowledge that I could have risked everything, and I wasn't willing to do that.
And we have a report that it's very close between 4th and 5th. Cameron right off of the U.S. and get this, Chris Kona from Australia has moved up in the marathon.
He congratulated me, and yeah, and I thanked him for his advice. You know, when I did my first Ironman, he won his first at Lanzarote in 1997, and I had the pleasure to meet him at the bike wash after the race, and I asked him, Peter, how do you do that with the cycling? And he told me, Ferris, be patient with the cycling. And I said, yeah, well, if he does that, then I will be patient. And you know, after several years, it worked out.
I was actually enjoying the race, which is something I haven't done here in a while. You're normally in that much pain. No, I really got into the race. I was enjoying the sound of the slapping of the feet on the road, and the sound of you breathing heavy. It's a different feeling, but it was good to be out there. And when you finish, as I did in 13th, I guess it's so easy to think that, yeah, it is a lost cause, but I had to, I guess, remind myself, and Lucy was good there at the finish too. It was something that, there's a reality check in a way. It's not the end of the world. There is next year. I'm still only 26 years of age, and I finished upright this year instead of unconscious like I did last year. So I guess there's more positives than negatives out there.
I came off the bike just outside of the top 10 maybe, and that was good. I mean, I've been way down before off of the bike, and it was the best bike time I've ever had here. So I was excited. I got off the bike. I'm you know, in the mix of things, and if I can just pull off a run that I normally can pull off, a definite top 5. But then there wasn't that other gear. I couldn't shift into that next gear to start running and get into the rhythm that I normally could. And I had to stop and walk a couple of the aid stations. There was just something that wasn't right, and I couldn't quite pin it down if it was nutrition, what it was. So I thought I'd come and stop and get in some sort of calories and see if that brings it around. And it didn't. Then started running again, and when I started running then, it was more like a job. I've always said, and I've always thought to myself, there is going to be that day when your run, which is my strength, is not going to pull you through. And that was the day. I've been here too many times to say, well, maybe I'll just stop, because that didn't even enter my head. You know what? There's a lot of people out there who their goal is to cross the finish line, and that's my goal too. Coming to this race and not finishing, I've done it a couple times, and I'll tell you what, it's the worst feeling in the world. To have dropped out would have been a million times worse than crossing the finish line in whatever time I did. There's people out there who are out there for 17 hours, out of respect for the island, out of respect for the event, out of respect for all the people that are out there. I needed to cross that finish line, and I needed to do it. To say I wasn't disappointed would be a lie. You know, then the good thing was I saw Wendy Ingram, and she was ecstatic. She finished just in front of me. She was ecstatic about her race. And that sort of put it into perspective for me right then. I'm like, here I am all teary-eyed and pouting that I had a bad race. She finishes 10 seconds in front of me, and she's excited and elated about her performance. You know, I saw that, and I'm like, you know what? There's no time for pouting. You know, it's disappointing, but it's what it was.
There are many athletes out there with the physical abilities to win Hawaii, but actually to do it is something different.
I think what it actually takes is inside the head. It's inside the head and inside the heart. You got to have a big ticker, is what we say down in Australia.
The highlight of my year is I'm so proud of myself for never giving up. You know, even when I was so sick, I had no energy. Just going grocery shopping took a ton of energy. And never giving up. Never once saying, I will not be a factor in Hawaii this year. Always believing that I would be a factor. I never never ever gave up.
I'm happy with the year that I've had this past year. I think I've had great races along the way. Had some bad races too, and that's part of it. But overall, I think it was a great year. We've traveled a lot of great places as well. You know, multi-sports is going well. I continue to enjoy doing that. So it's been a good year. You know what, I continue to love what I do, and so every year I appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, the year's been, I guess, a tough one. The biggest step for me has been going from just doing it as a recreational sport to becoming a professional athlete, and I've got to perform and do well to make an income and make a living. So I think that the hardest thing I've found is being away from the family. I think I'll learn to cope with it better over the time, and hopefully in the next few years Lucy will be able to come away and travel with me and make it a lot easier, and it'll be in a way a home away from home.
I think I'll just have a new appreciation for the training, so I just can't wait to get back at that, let alone get back to the racing. I think it still fits in to have a family yet still give me a few more years of racing, so it just makes it, I think it makes it more interesting, because now I can look to the next couple of years and, you know, you wonder, are you going to be a stronger athlete?
I started it because I love the sport, I love the people in the sport and everything associated with the sport, and I think it's starting to realise the balance of the things you've got to enjoy, and as long as you keep improving each year, then you're heading in the right direction. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to win Hawaii, and yeah, that still hasn't swayed, and that's still what I want to achieve by the rest of my life.
I definitely now would want to come back here and have a good performance. You know, probably, to be honest, had I had a great day out there on Saturday, I maybe wouldn't have felt the need to come back. But I do. I mean, I feel like there's some things that I need to do here, and I don't want to finish it on that note. So I'd like to come back and have a great race, and I think if I'm rested leading into the season, then I can do that.
Definitely a number one goal would be to have a relationship with somebody, and actually it's been a long time that I've actually been in a meaningful relationship. That's actually a goal, and being more open and not being so much on triathlon.